Uncertainty with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Lynn Collins really just left me uncertain after watching it. The film bases itself around two different plots, one in Manhattan revolving some sort of cell phone and hiding from these bad guys and running around Chinatown. And then the other one is a story of Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Lynn Collins again is the same couple doing something different on the same day. I think, not really sure, but it involves a family outing and more of a tame situation. It's a little more developed, but to be honest, I mean, it just didn't make sense. The beginning scene, I felt as though like them running opposite directions and then both meeting each other at the opposite side of the Brooklyn Bridge and going about their days. Seemed as though everything was going on at the same time, but then again, it really can't be going on at the same time. It never really told what type of parallel there were or if there was a parallel. It just showed these two stories going. And while they did bring up the plausibility of going about these two stories and how Chinatown could be real, I just didn't find them too convincing. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character just really wasn't that well developed. He wasn't interesting to watch, and neither was Lynn Collins. They were just kind of there, and they were running from something and trying to hide, and it just seems as though it was a made-for-TV movie. I just didn't find the acting very good or the character development very strong, and the dialogue just wasn't interesting. It was just chasing around Manhattan for part of a story. And then when the director came in, he seemed as though he didn't really know what was going on either, which kind of helped to back up my thoughts about the movie considering how confusing it was. They did talk about the plausibility of both plots, but I mean, what's the plausibility that you find a phone and then someone tries to kill you for it? Really not that plausible. And then additionally, they brought up, I think the one thing that would have been interesting for the film that showed that was more developed was that they shot Manhattan first, because that was mainly the two main characters, and by the time they got to the Brooklyn shots and incorporating more people, there was already a basis foundation for the relationships between Lynn and Joseph. And I think that's what helped to further develop the Brooklyn film, just because the characters were able to become more acquainted with each other before doing intimate type scenes and creating a more substantial dialogue between the characters. But overall, the stories didn't really blend up, and I wasn't really sure what they had to do with one another, how they came about within the movie. It just seemed as though it happened, that was the way it was, and that was it. And it just kind of left you as a viewer being curious about what did I actually just watch, because it wasn't interesting and it was confusing.